Hi, this is Zach here with the US Chartbreakers here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Tuesday, the 13th of June. Starting off with the S&P, but we're looking for 43.60 as soon as the end of next month. It looks as though it might be the end of this month. The actual line there around that level. End of day close through 43.60 or a weekly close perhaps. And we could be needing to upgrade our target as high as 4,700, which is the upper parallel of that rising trend channel from back in October. Obviously, it's early days yet, and there's always a risk of raising a target just as the market's going to turn in Goldman Sachs kind of style. On the downside, 42.30, 42.40 now, just near the top of that gap from the early part of this month would be the likely stop loss on a potential breakdown of the recent rally. Moving on to the stocks, and obviously we are in something of an AI-generated boom. Advanced Micro Devices, one of the winners at the moment. V-shaped bull flag above an unfilled gap to the upside, which is about as strong as it gets. That suggests that we are on target for a May 2022 resistance line target as high as $145 as soon as the end of next month. Ideally now there's no persistent price action back below the 125 zone, which is basically 2-day support. Moving on to a stock which is new to the chart breakers, Bloom Energy. Here it's interesting because we've had a trend line break, which I'm just about to draw at the moment, and that already from back in January. We broke that line basically at the turn of the week, and that's around the call it $15 level. Also broken above the 50-day moving average at $16.30, and that means that we are potentially set up for a target up towards a line of resistance I'm drawing at the moment, which is basically the 200-day moving average near to $20. And in fact, you can have or draw the recent price action recovery within a rising trend channel from back at the turn of last month. Moving along to a stock which is also relatively unknown on this particular platform. Here we've got Catalent, and the reason for including this is that we've had double island reversal. So we basically had a bear trap as well back at the beginning of last month. Island gap, gapping down and gapping higher, and then another one yesterday. And that suggests that above the $39 mark we are in recovery mode. And if you're fussy, you would say that above $40, because the old November support was around the $40 mark. The only thing really missing now is an end-of-day close above the 50-day moving average at $44. Above that, we're looking for the bottom of the April gap at $50. And then as a best-case scenario over the next 1 to 2 months, as high as $64, maybe by the end of July or going into August, at the top of that falling trend channel from last October. But the longer we stay above that $39, $40 area, the more confident we are of a lasting turnaround there for Catalent. On to Carnival Corporation, which seems to be flying at the moment. In fact, we've hit an old target that we had, an August resistance line, top of that channel rather, at $14, above $14, looking for a fresh target, and that would be up towards a line of resistance I'm drawing from May last year. That's currently pointing as high as $17.80, and we'd hope to see that by the end of next month while we're above the $13 area. Ideally, we don't even go back below the low yesterday around $13.80, but let's see if we can manage that. One of the stalwarts of the US Chartbreakers is Fuelcell Energy, which I suppose one could say one has a feeling that this is going to be a decent play. Just breaking the May resistance area now, so around $2.65, let's call it. Above that, we're looking for $3.50 by the end of next month at the top of a falling trend channel from back in August. Intel, the next stock, and we don't probably look at this as much as we should, but here we're approaching the initial target we had, a September resistance line projection at $35. Above that, we could be looking at as high as $41 over the next 1 to 2 months. Upside valid, certainly while we're above the 50-day moving average at $30.80. And ideally, we stay above $32, which is basically the late April and late May resistance for this stock, so above 32, 35, and then 41 on Intel. Loop has been covered here relatively recently, Loop Industries, and here the breakthrough is that we've pushed through the 200-day moving average for the first time in well over a year, and there's also the 50-day line there as well, so above $3.10, looking for $5 at the top of that broadening triangle from October last year, and we hopefully will see that by the end of next month. Multiple bounces on the RSI 50 level as well, which tends to be a leading indicator on an upside move. So let's see if we can get $5 relatively quickly. Another regular here is Opendoor Technologies, and here we've got a consolidation above the 200-day line. That's around $2.15. Above that, we're looking for as high as $4.30 by the end of next month. Nice bounces for the RSI above neutral 50, so ideally there'll be a breakout through $2.80, and maybe people could wait for that before we get that $4.30 target in coming weeks. Another favorite here is coming up, Plug Power, and here you can see that we've had a good gap through the 50-day line. That's around $9. Above that, looking for the top of that triangle from March, as high as $13 by the end of next month, and decent bear trap reversal there from below $8.50 over the course of May and going into June. Another favorite here is Palantir, and you can probably see why from the chart, in the sense that we've hit a couple of our targets. One was around $11, the next around 15. Above 15, we're looking for as high as 20 by the end of next month, which is derived from a resistance line from the beginning of last year, a resistance line projection, and currently only back below 14, really delaying the assumption of an ongoing recovery in the shares. SoFi is next, and the chart arguably even better than Palantir, really. We've hit two of our targets. First was around $6.80, second was around $8.80, and above $8.80 we're now looking for as high as $11.50 by the end of next month. Two beautiful unfilled gaps to the upside, and a gap closed by signal around $5 as well last month. So everything going on there quite nicely, and the only cloud on the horizon perhaps that the shares are very overbought, but when in a momentum situation you can't keep going for a relatively long time in that state. Finishing off with Tesla, which has delivered the goods after its break through the 200-day moving average and the $200 level at the beginning of the month. We're already up to near to the $250 level, and the longer we stay above the initial target there, around $240, the greater the chance of a move up to $280 by the end of next month. So, and still, even after all the recovery that we've seen, we're still way off the highs of 380 plus that we had just at the beginning of last year. That's it from me today. More updates tomorrow.